Hey, folks, thank you and welcome to John Crump Live. And you got Flying Rich Live. For the moment, John will be joining us shortly. I'm just going to roll the next commercial and...
Proudly sponsored by TUSC, the only cryptocurrency designed with the firearms market in mind, with 3-second processing times. It's the fastest cryptocurrency on the planet. With lower transaction fees than traditional credit cards. It's perfect for your e-commerce needs. For gun guys, by gun guys. Visit TUSC.network for more information and join the digital revolution.
And we are also brought to you by...
Black Swan Tactical, your #1 source for 2A streetwear. With shirts, mugs, hats, patches, flags, and more. There's always something to help you rep the 2A community. All proceeds go back into our projects. Viewers and listeners can take an additional 10% off with code CRUMPY. Unapologetically pro-gun, pro-liberty, and pro-freedom gear for the front lines of the culture war.
Wow, look who we got.
Continue on, Rich.
And now I'd like to bring to you our host of the show, John Crump from John Crump Live.
Thank you so much. I was having a little bit of computer problems. That's why I was trying to get everything working here. And now I have everything working.
Cool. All righty. So I figured out how to roll the commercials now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Didn't know how to do that 5 minutes ago.
Oh, really?
So I would like to introduce, do we get some news? Let's bring our guests and then do some news. So I am wearing, up this way, my Xavier firearm shirt, and that's brought to you by Scott Rolf from 22 Mods for All. And hey, Scott, how's it going?
Thank you, Rich. That's me. And it's good, John. Good to see you. Okay, we got ourselves all lined up like we know what we're doing, but don't tell anybody.
Yep. So I know Scott from like the Florida gun show circuit. I'd say he's a gun show friend. It's not like we eat dinner at each other's house or anything like that, but we know each other. So I just want to, get everything out on the carpet. And I've gotten a free T-shirt from Scott. So I
like that idea. Thank you, Rich. I appreciate that.
So one of the things that John broke earlier today, John, did you have an exclusive on the Ghost Gunner story?
Of course I did. You knew about it like a month. I think you knew about it like 6 months ago, Rich.
I think I may have known about it 6 months ago and couldn't tell anyone.
Yeah. Yes, Ghost Gunner is capable of Ghost Gunner 3 without any add-ons besides a spindle fan.
So there's a spindle fan. It looks like there's a little bit of a jig, but it looks like if you had a bandsaw, you could make that yourself.
Yeah, you could. There's nothing for the Ghost Gunner 0% that is proprietary or even like non-spec. There's no specialty tools or anything. You can buy anything from a hardware store, print it out yourself, whatnot, make it yourself, buy from other places.
So is the G code out there right now?
The G code is out there.
So pretty much it looks, and I want to make sure I get this right, it looks like the only thing you have to buy is like there's a section for the buffer tube that's threaded.
Yeah, well, no, it's 3 parts. In the middle part, then you have the grip module, which allows you to attach a grip that bolts on, and the buffer tube ring that bolts on.
So, okay, you're only CNCing one hunk of aluminum and then you bolt it into those other parts? Is that how it works?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure how it works. So it's a 3-part load.
Yeah, but you can't ban the upper or the...
A hunk of aluminum, a threaded thing, and another thing with a thread.
Yeah. you can't ban it. So
basically they're nuts. They're just fancy nuts.
Yeah. But you can't ban it. That's the whole thing.
It's just parts.
Yep.
And there's actually code out there, not from Ghost Gunner, but there's code out there. I'm not sure if that's publicly available or whatnot from other people that will allow you to create the other parts on the Ghost Gunner.
So right now, the Ghost Gunner 3 will take an 80% lower, and you have 2 operations. You got to mill it one way and then flip it the other way and mill it in 30 minutes if you're super quick about setup.
Yeah, you don't have to be super quick about setup. It takes about 30 minutes, even if you're like slow.
Yeah.
All you do is
you haven't seen me operate a Ghost Gunner.
I mean, you bolt it in and you click next.
Yeah.
I love those styles.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
that's all.
The 0% lower takes 3 hours.
Yes.
So instead of 2 operations, you're doing 7 operations. I only got 5 on this hand, but so you have to, I guess, mount it a couple of different ways to get it cut.
Well, no, you mount it 2 different ways.
2 different ways, yeah.
But you have to change the mill-ins and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So the trigger pin and the hammer pin get drilled with one, and then
Correct.
Gotcha.
So it takes there's 3 additional bits. So there's 7 operations total. But I mean, it's screwed. I mean, it's you screw. What am I trying to say? It's crazy fast for what it does.
It is, because the original Ghost Gunner took like 3 hours to mill out a.
Ghost
an
Gunner
AR
1 was
lower.
3 hours. Then they lowered it down to 2 hours with the Ghost Gunner 2, which I have as well. Then the Ghost Gunner 3, which I rich broke. I'm just joking.
Whoa! It came
I'm
here
just
broken.
Yeah. The Ghost Gunner 3 it only took about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes is a good time. I have CNCs and I have lasers. So I have a good working knowledge of how that stuff works.
Cool.
Yeah, you just click next. You're good to go, man.
Yeah, we basically try to write our tool pass as fast as we can. That's where the real, efficiencies come in for us.
So, I don't think I properly introduced Scott. Scott, tell us what you do. We didn't get to that part.
Okay. Well, you see us online as 22 Mods for All. We will be changing that to Best Gun Price because we are morphing into a larger, maybe my word is full service weapons and sporting manufacturer and retailer. We make the ZDR firearm. So everything, that is our retail brand. We also make everything in the marketplace T6 firearms and everything Olympus 9. Those are our wholesale brands. We have 3 different brands that we make for Brazil, and we market them down there with agreements that we have with the people that came up here, and we put together deals with them so that we can manufacture these weapons, and then we send them to the exporter. The exporter takes them, and off we go. But we are a firearms manufacturer. We make AR-15s and AR-10s, AR-9s, any combination of that style of weapon, we make it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got one of your AR-9 uppers, runs flawless, no issues.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I've got other uppers from you, so not just that.
Uppers, lowers, Rich, we go back a ways on those types of things, over the years, and that's why I'm fortunate to be able to be here today. It's because of that fact with you, sir.
I don't have any AR-9s.
You don't have AR-9s?
John.
I have AR-15s, AR-10s, and I got them in 458 SOCOMs, 6.5 Grindles.
My favorite. I'm a Grindle fan.
Valkyries. I got them in everything. 300 Blackout.
So Invader Zip, I threw his comment up. He's a 3D printing guy, 3D printing gun designer. He designed a gun called the Arc, and I talked to Scott about this last week, about making parts that would fit for the Arc, because the Arc uses AR-15 type parts. I think he just has to have a special keyway cut, because it's going to work like blowback, so with the AR-9. And I think that's for the charging handle that he designed. He needs a certain key cut to make it work.
That shouldn't be all that tough, to be honest with you, especially depending upon the exacting sizes of it. With all machining, 99% of it is not impractical. It's just, how do you want to do it? That's more of anything. You can kind of make anything you want if you put your mind to it. It's not that difficult. And most of this stuff is practical. I'm fortunate where I'm surrounded. I'm up here in Orlando. And so I'm very fortunate being surrounded by UCF, an engineering school. So I have an incredible amount of young men going into their own machine shop operation, making different, not just gun parts, but I'm very fortunate to have some pretty smart people around me.
I think I want to get you and Invader Zip together. Scott, can I get you your phone number to him?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, because I'll send that out to him because I want you guys to talk because we did talk.
Because you know the span. How many extended warranties do I need for my vehicles? Okay, I don't need the phone calls. So have him text me first and say, hey, da 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 da, and then boom, we're golden. We're golden.
Alrighty,
okay?
cool.
But yes, please have him contact me.
Shooting Gallery New England says he's going in today.
What's that mean?
I have no effing clue. I think he sent me the text and meant to send it to someone else.
Yeah.
All right. So what Invader Zip is saying about the only non-compatible part from 22 Mods for All site is the gas kit. It needs to be vertical with the rear of the ejector slot, not chamfered for the front brace or BCG.
I'd simply have to see a picture of it or something on it. If the only thing we got to do is make an alter or make a new gas key, seems not too tough to me.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that can get me.
Oh, Shooting Gallery New England is on the shop show radio right now. My interview is being played today as well.
Oh, okay.
On that show.
So
I'm competing
friend of ours,
myself.
friend of ours works for Cape Gunworks. Let me get that right. And John was interviewed for the show, and I guess Joe's going to be on the show today with him.
Yeah, they have a radio show, and they're going to play my interview today. So I'm competing against myself.
Aha.
Well, you can only win then.
So for the people listening over there, it's not really live.
So should we run the video, the congratulations video?
No, Joe's not in here.
Joe's not in here. Won't be fun.
No, I'm not running it anymore.
So
I'm
Scott,
done.
do you know who the guy Dust is? Detroit Urban Survival Training.
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
All right, you don't have Instagram, I'm guessing.
Me?
You're lucky you don't.
My staff does a lot. I don't really. I don't have sometimes the time to follow that type of stuff.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
the internet. You know the old commercial where the internet takes you over. It can take me over. So I try to stay out because otherwise.
What do you mean? I was out to dinner and everybody was like this.
Oh. Yeah, that's kind of my point. My wife and I, we talked about that, and we became our children. Because we said, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. What do we do when we're out? Exactly like our kids did.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't become us. We became them.
I'm going to open this package later on.
Oh, what do you got?
Somebody sent it to me. I can open it now, I guess.
Is it something for Dark? Is it something for you?
No, it's something for me. Someone sent it to me.
Yeah.
Like you said,
so John has a friend that sends all of his packages to John's house. And I think it's just so his wife doesn't know what he's getting.
Yeah, no, this is someone sent this to me because and they want to remain anonymous. So thank you. But they heard I wanted something. I was thinking about getting something. So this is what they sent me. This right here is
the VCR tape?
No, it's the with the extra battery pack and
for GoPro?
Yes.
Very nice.
Oh, very cool.
What they sent me here.
Very nice.
That's cool.
They shipped it directly from Best Buy. They bought it on Best Buy and had it delivered to my house. So I'm gonna.
Well, that's stupid cool.
Good for you.
You know what that is, right, Rich?
The label that you were hiding. You just got a GoPro 10, right?
GoPro 10.
I was looking at them. Nice.
So thank you for the person out there that sent me that $500 worth of crap.
Cool.
My listeners are the best.
How it should work.
Well, they want me to be able to film the ATF better.
Film the ATF better.
God, I'm not joking.
So, John, Scott and I were talking about. Wait, no, Scott and I were talking about. It was somebody else I saw. Are you going to go visit the ATF booth at SHOT Show?
Absolutely, man. That's why they got me the camera.
Okay.
I raid the ATF, not the other way around.
Scott doesn't know the story. This was a Virginia gun show, and the ATF had a booth at this Virginia gun show. And John is well known to the ATF, and he went over and talked to him. And then he says, "Oh, I'm John Crump." They're like, "We're not allowed to talk to you. You have to talk to our communications director." And then they left the booth.
Wow.
So I got a picture of me in their booth with the Polymer 80 holding it up, smiling.
Oh my God. The ATF has good points and bad. I deal with them constantly, obviously, in manufacturing. So I just think there's, like in all fields, there's just some are better than others, is really the bottom line of the situation. Some are just better at what they do, understand it better. That's really how it comes down to.
Oh, I think I may have asked you this, Scott.
Helps.
We have another friend in the Orlando area, BW Firearms, Richard Hoffman. Do you know the guy? He does Uzi stuff. He's like world famous Uzi builder.
No. Because, believe it or not, the facets of some of this stuff, you don't really travel in different circles. I'm an AR guy, so I know the AR manufacturers, the parts manufacturers, those types of things in the area, from Ramlin to Ghost Firearms, CF Manufacturing is them, and AO, Hitman Barrels, these types of people. But past that, I really don't venture into the other. I've started looking at some Uzi stuff, though, trying to make some 45s. Not happy with the way the Glock mag sits, and I can give you all the things about what I got to do, but I'm going to change the angle of the magazine going into the large frame lower. But that's a whole other conversation that I'm getting ready to bring out.
Oh, cool.
Reliability. Reliability is everything. So I'm starting to make small alterations to stuff to make it reliable, especially when you get in blowback methods. That's a lot of work.
And so, Scott, people know you have a retail shop. What are the days your shop's open?
Well, we're a manufacturing operation. Now, we do have a small showroom, and we're open 12 to 6, Monday through Thursday. It's not like you come in and shop, though. It's most people come in, they got their phone, and they go, I want one of these right here that's on my phone. Okay, we can get that together. I want an AR-15. I know you build them. I want we have that style right here. A lot of people just see it online. They come in and say, I want one of those.
Gotcha.
Got it. We know exactly what to do for you then. And bingo.
For the most part, you're going to gun shows and you're selling at a gun show.
Online is our big operation. That's really what we do. We're going to be pushing the wholesale side under our T6. T6 we're going to be self-distributing and have been self-distributing. I guess I should phrase it that way. The Olympus 9 is new coming out. We're probably going to put that line in our distributors is where we're going to go there. So from a T6, a Xavier you could buy from me, retail, no problem. T6, Can't buy that from me retail. I only sell it wholesale. You'd have to buy it from one of my retailers. When I make a rule, I'm pretty good at sticking with my rules. And then the Olympus 9 product would be the same way. That will simply go to distributors. My self-distribution people can't buy it, nor can and they can't buy Xavier. Now, we will be moving through my other 2 brands made under Xavier and T6. We make Clever by Renee. So Renee Inchatigi, and I know I mispronounced that, Renee. So I recognize the point. But she is the Florida Junior Champion 3 years in a row. I have been fortunate to make her guns 3 years in a row. So now we have a line out, Clever by Renee. And these are all match grade guns. We do not make any base guns, I guess may be the phrasing to use on that. Everyone, even the base model of these starts with a match grade barrel. Our top of the line is a competition compensator, adjustable gas block, 3 to 6 pound trigger, silent capture SRS system in the back. There are no upgrades, and that's a $10.99 gun retail. There are no upgrades to put in the gun. We're also fortunate on the T6 line. We get to work with Rick Farron, who is Uncle Sam's Misguided Children. And
I know Rick. He's been on the show.
Okay, well, Rick is a very good friend of mine, and the Uncle Sam's Guns, I am the manufacturer of Rick's guns for Uncle Sam's Guns. My general manager, Scott Jacks, does a tremendous job working with Rick and so on and putting this together. Again, I am as good as my staff, period. And I'm very fortunate to have some people that have been with me a long time, gun enthusiasts, and they're attached to me at the hip. That's where I get lucky. You can be smart, you can do this, but if you don't have the right people, it isn't going to matter. It really won't. Okay, so I've got the people. We put together Rick and so on. We've been doing that for about a year with him. We're getting ready. So I don't know if you've seen those guns, John, at all. But again, these are
they're nice. They're very nice guns. They have several different models.
Yeah, and they are. I'm coming out with an AR-10 for him, an AR-10 platform. We're just waiting for some extrusion to come in. I'm going to make kind of a little bit of a generic rail for him, a handguard at first, just to get him in the marketplace. But we've got some new extrusion coming in for our handguards for him. We'll line those up. We're getting some match grade barrels in our 308 and Creedmoors done for him also, and something we'll use through the other lines. And when I mean match grade, I mean match grade. We take our Clever guns as a prime example, and our Uncle Sam's guns. We did a TV show with Don Mann called out in Las Vegas in May called Surviving Man.
Yeah, I'm friends with Don Mann too.
Well,
you'll get to know that I know a lot of people.
I understand, John. Well, I was fortunate enough to go through this process, and we did this show. Rick was in that show, of course. Jax was in the show. I was not, thank God. Okay, but they did very well, and so we shot those guns with 55 grain whatever ammo, just nothing special, 800 yards. We hit about a little over, because we did count. We were just over 75% of the time hitting a 12-inch circle at 800 yards. Now, conversely, at 500 yards, we had 8 different shooters, 240 rounds, and I do not recall anyone missing.
Were you out there on site, or were you?
Yes, I was on site.
Oh, okay. So then you probably met our friend Daniel, Gun Doctor TV.
Yes. Yeah. Of course, I know Daniel. Yes. Of course. Had some discussions with him. I was fortunate enough, because we were there for 4 or 5 days, I guess 5 days, and we were on site. So as they're going through their processes, we're able to talk with them about certain things. And boy, I'll tell you, these guys work their ass off. The Tuesday, they've been started at 7. They're in the desert. It's 108. And at 4:30, Don goes, okay, water up. And they're starting to drink water because they got a 5-mile run to finish the day.
Oh,
Oh my! These people were some. There were some athletes there. There were some people with mind over matter.
Yeah, Don Man is the real deal.
Oh, is he ever? And he's one of the nicest. I got to tell you, I very much enjoyed the man also as a person. I really liked him. I thought he was easy to get along with. I thought he was easy to talk to. Didn't seem pretentious.
Oh no, he's a very cool guy.
Yeah, he was fun.
Very accomplished.
Well, that's yes, I should be in that realm, but I'm not. But yes, very accomplished and very, for me, easy to work with is half the battle. There's always hiccups and obstacles and problems. You must overcome them. There is no choice. Find a way.
Yeah.
It's what we did.
Yeah.
Flights in an hour so that Rick and Jax could stay and participate in Jax drove the truck and Rick was the hostage in their hostage format that they used.
yeah.
And so I had to get hotels, car, flights all changed in 2 hours. And I'd love to tell you I did that, but that's my wife. She did a fantastic. She did.
Yeah, it looks like we have a lot of friends in common.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
It's a very good thing, unless it's Rich.
Yeah.
Just joking. Oh, Rich, I forgot to tell you. My son yesterday, I said, hey, I'm going to take flying lessons. And he goes, don't crash. And I said, why would I crash? He goes, because your friend always does.
That would be you, Rich.
Yes. I guess I own that.
Yeah, I just thought it was hilarious that he's like, because your friend's always crashing.
Flying's lesson sounds like a good time.
Crash twice in 1,000 hours, So I'm just looking at, let's see, do I got a good video or a good image? The Opus 9, so that's a 9mm AR platform? Am I looking at the right thing?
Which one are you looking at?
The Opus 9 you were talking about earlier?
The Olympus 9.
Olympus. Ooh,
Olympus.
that's why.
Right. It's not really a brand that's out. That's why it's something we've had. We formed the company some time ago. We have put together some OEM situations with some of the major manufacturers in SRS systems and adjustable gas block systems, those types of things. They OEM for us and things of that nature. Those items will be coming out in droves a little later this year.
So what caliber are they going to be coming out in?
Well, obviously we're going to come out in 5.56, but we were making an AR-10 product in both 308 and Creedmoors. I love shooting Creedmoors. And I will probably add a 243 to that also. Simply because as a production standpoint, it's the same bolt, same magazine. It is simply a barrel difference. That's an easy inventory item for me. So I will probably also add the 243s to those lines. So Olympus 9 will be coming out. We'll be looking to put that in the distributors. We will be discussing it with them, but I'm not going to be ready to do that until probably May.
So
I want to address some stuff. SHOT Show content will be coming out on John Crump News after SHOT Show happens because it haven't happened yet. So we will be putting that out. I do like small 2A shows over there as well on John Crump News. Also, Chuck Norris Gun Club says a 243 would be unique.
Yes, and it would be nice in that AR platform. So you've got the 5-round magazine for hunting, and we'll be able to, it uses the same 20-round magazine as the 308, as the Creedmoor. So the 243 would be a lot of fun, I think, to shoot. And it's just what I like about working with my AR-15 and AR-10 platform I started hunting when I was a kid. I got my first 22 when I was 6, and I won some competitions. And I lived in the woods in Michigan is the way to phrase that. Okay, up in Cadillac, Michigan. Loved my childhood. Loved Cadillac. Just kind of hard. I'm kind of hard to live there now because you got to bring your own money to some degree, you know. But I do enjoy. I love my mom from my childhood. I have to tell you, I enjoyed it. Well, with that in mind, I had a 243. I had a 270 bolt actions. I had a pump Remington 760, which was a 30-06. Much too much gun for me at 12, to be honest with you. But the stocks were always odd fitting to me. You know, one had a longer, one was a little shorter. I ended up doing the majority of my hunting with a sporterized Stevens 30-30. Gunshot great. It was a tube-fed Stevens. It was great. I enjoyed it immensely. What I like about my AR-15 platforms and my AR-10 platforms is when I go to set up, I set up the same way every time. In other words, the length of pull I never change on my stock because I'm not grabbing a different complete gun. I'm simply changing the upper 2 pins, and I'm golden.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, that's the direction I go. I'm going to do the same thing on the 243. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to have one rower that you have, well, in our rowers, in our AR-10s, by the way, just for what this is worth, we do not put spring and buffers in them. I'm all done with that. We put the SRS systems in. The silent capture, some people call them, but the silent recoil springs. They're smoother. They're far more efficient. Just, once you drink the water, you never go back to the sand. I'm not going back to the sand.
Ain't that the truth?
I just think that this is a really, really, I'm very proud of these products because they do function incredibly well. So, SRS system in the back, whatever trigger you prefer. Of course, I shoot my Olympus 9 3 to 6 pound adjustable because I make it. But then on every single upper, I get the same function on the lower. I hold it the same way. I got the same length of pull. I set up the same way every time. I have found that my accuracy on a personal level, I'm 61 years old, my accuracy has improved by doing that, by being the same every time. It's very important to me, that consistency, to make me efficient in that. And when we go to shoot, we don't sweat them, and we try to we do a real world. So when we're shooting, as I told you, out at Front Sight in the Mojave in May, what a fine facility that was, Front Sight too. Nice. For the desert, it was pretty cool. But we had an ammo can and 3 sandbags. Go make it work. Figure it out. Find a way. And that's it. So we don't sweat them. We don't do this. We got an ammo can. We got a sandbag. We got 2 to prop up on the back, and you now make it work. Everybody shoots the same way. We do not shoot, when you see our videos, when you see what our guns can actually do, we don't shoot specialty ammo. We don't shoot match grade ammo. No, because when you're making, weapons for, I'm going to use the term masses. I don't mean that to sound derogatory, but in production, you have to be able, your gun has to be able to do what it does with whatever they put in it. I don't care if it's steel cased. I don't care if it's reloads and maybe a little out of spec, whatever. That gun's got to function. So we don't use anything special when we go to do this. Nothing. Nada. And that's how we get our results. We took one of our guns, you can see on our YouTube channel. We filled it with sand. My internet guys, they love to do this type of stuff. So we filled it with sand. We put it through muck. We drove over it. And after each thing, we shot it. We got a whole video up on that. The handguard is a little crooked now. Because we did okay. But gun shoots accurately. Gun shoots straight, and gun functions perfectly. We take it to the shows to show the actual gun that we drove over. This is it. This is going to work fine, you know. So going forward, I really want to perfect my match grade products. I really want to perfect my AR-10 products. And the only way you get those to work correctly for the efficiencies that I want is I have to be able to shoot whatever ammo I pull out of the box. And
can I stop you there, Scott? So somebody asked, what is the SRS? This is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. I got one in one of my ARs. I'm just not sure which one.
That is an SRS system. So there's several manufacturers from Armaspec to JP and several others out there. We do work a lot with Armaspec. I like those people a lot. Right. They seem to be on top of what they're doing. And again, I have a great respect for them. So in our AR-10 platform, there is no spring and buffer in that. That is what's in the back. Now, it's an AR-10 style, has the appropriate springs and stuff for it, which are going to be stiffer than, of course, an AR-15. But that is the item that's in there right there. Standard on the gun. It really changes how the gun works. I'm going to tell you, it makes it so much more efficient. We're going to work with these systems in all of our top-end Tank's gun, Rick's gun under Uncle Sam's the Patton, Renee's baby girl gun. They all have that in there because we can reduce the recoil down on these weapons like you can't believe using our muzzle devices, our adjustable gas blocks in the SRS system.
The SRS is a recoil spring / buffer / everything in one container. Somebody was asking.
Yes. Exactly.
So this replaces the buffer, and the recoil spring and everything else.
Correct, sir.
So it looks like, is there a guide rod on that or no? I can't tell.
There's a guide rod.
There's a guide rod, which means I can't use it in my 9mm that have a solid back end on the bolt. Now, if a 9mm has a weight put into it that can come out with a roll pin or something, that actually can be used on that back side. Now, we are starting to work with some of those bolts a little bit. We're doing some testing on 2 things. I have 3 projects coming. One's a 45. That's not a significant thing. I got to change that magazine. Okay, I'm not happy with how that sits. And it will make the gun function perfectly. But we are working on the 9s in both the bolts to use the SRS system in blowback and a direct impingement gun. So we're working on micro gas systems and pistol gas systems with those barrels moving forward. SRS systems in the back for control. Shooting 9s is a great time. I love it. It's one of my favorites. But I do not like the snap the guns have, both on the way back and going into battery. So what we did now, and we're moving forward into these other projects, our current gun is still a blowback with the spring and buffer. We, in the 9mm, we put a spacer back there, and we call it the 10-quarter spacer. So what we discovered was if you put 10 quarters in the back of your buffer tube, running the 9mm, the gun does not have near the snap when it comes back, nor when it goes into battery, because that spring's not pushing and it's not running as long. Also, many people will find in the 9s that after it hits the bolt catch, because we have last shot hold open in ours. I make for competition. In fact, I signed John Bagley today, who's a 9
Congratulations.
competitive shooter. So I don't know if you guys know John out of West Palm Beach, but he shoots competitively all over Florida, all over nationally, and he's very, very good at it. He's a very nice guy. I like John a lot. So John is on board. He picked up his new weapon today, this morning, as a matter of fact. We did a special paint job for him and stuff like that. We made it easy. We painted like the red where the mag is. We painted it in red, almost like kind of a lips type situation. But that was for him to be able to, out of the corner of his eye, see how to get that mag in. It's for competition. People's speed is everything. So we do stuff like that. But the spacer is very important because it only leaves a 1/4 inch before it hits that bolt catch. Thus, you don't break your bolt catches. 125, 150 times that hits, full going, yeah, you'll snap it. You'll be putting a new one in. Unfortunately, and we think, oh, the 9 doesn't have that much recoil. It has other parts that aren't conducive. So,
well, because it's not locking the bolt, it's a blowback system. Yeah, you're getting a lot more recoil. And what is the standard buffer? Like if you're throwing a buffer in for an AR versus a buffer for a 9, what are the weights? I forget.
That is a very interesting combination there. So you first start with the bolt weight, and I like that bolt weight between 14 and 14.5 ounces, right around the 14.2, 14.3. Now, we can efficiently use a 3-ounce buffer.
Oh, really?
A standard AR-15 spring and our spacer, and the gun will run fine. All right? What we are going to be changing to is, just because I can see this down the road, if you put a spring and buffer in an AR-10, it uses a 2.5-inch buffer. We are going to, and they're 4 ounce. We are going to use that buffer rather than a 3-ounce buffer, 14.5-ounce bolt, 14.2, and the 4-ounce buffer and a standard AR spring with our spacer, and we have incredible efficiency out of that.
Really? Because I think on mine I put an 8.5-ounce buffer in to get it to run right.
I get these phone calls, and they put in a stiff 308 spring in the back and the 8.5 from perhaps KK Industries, or there's other manufacturers. KK is a good manufacturer, and but I've had them where it stopped the gun. In other words, it can't cycle. It stops it so much that you're ejecting, you're picking up your next round, but you're not ejecting all the way, and you'll get the failure to feed. So
oh, I get you.
It kind of comes into an FTE FTF combination because it's not getting all the way out, and it's not getting, because it's already going forward when it's supposed to be coming out.
Gotcha.
So you can make that too stiff, and that's where I'm playing with the direct impingement, because now I have gas control. Now I can do what I want. I can turn it up, turn it down, adjustable. If I need to go there, I can create enough pressure coming through. And what we found is the micro systems with adjustable gas blocks, and adjustables aren't really expensive to make, to be honest with you. They're not that hard. It's efficient. We can make that work. So now we're going to test that out for 10,000 rounds before we bring it forward.
So now that's a 9 mil you're talking about.
9 millimeter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can do it for 9, I can do it for the rest of them. I just got to get the right combination of my bolt carrier group and my weight, my weighting in the back to make that work. But since I can control gas with direct impingement, I'm in the catbird seat. I'm the driver. When you're blowback method, you're not the driver. You are reactionary. Direct impingement, I get to be proactive in how I make things. Gotcha. So that's the direction I go on those. I'm looking forward to that. This will take me 120 days. My chief builder, Michael, has got to shoot a shit ton of 9, okay? Because we got to make sure that it does what it's supposed to be before I put my name behind it and I say it's going to do this. It's like when we make a match grade barrel. If I make a match grade barrel, it's marked match. It's not lip service. I engrave into the barrel, it's a match barrel. Okay? It has to fit the tolerances. If it does not fit the tolerances, close doesn't count. It is or it isn't. And if it isn't, it's a very good shooting regular barrel, but it doesn't get marked as match. It has to be the tolerance.
Do you have a range at your shop now?
No, we don't really have a range. We have a shoot box area that we use. So when we go out to do our videos and stuff, we are actually out, we don't do much in indoor ranges these days. We're fortunate enough to be tied to some people that we get to go out to Omega Ranch off of 44 up by DeLand, Daytona area, and out in the middle of nowhere. We get to shoot there. We get about 600 yards there. When I bring the Creedmoor match grades out, we've been invited down to Immokalee. I cannot for the life of me remember the name of that range, and I apologize to those folks. They have a 2-mile range down there.
Oh shoot! I didn't know there was one in like that.
Yeah,
Florida.
it's down in Immokalee by the old prison. The old prison got bought, and Jax is my GM, is the guy who really turned me on to this. He has been invited and has participated in military operations down there, where they invite him down and a group of people to be the bad guys.
Yeah, that sounds like that would be a lot of fun.
He's been there, I think, twice, and he has certainly enjoyed it. Okay, he didn't come back up and say this was garbage. That didn't come out of his mouth. He signed up for the next one. Okay, so they go in and they're shooting sim rounds, so it's real, real deal type stuff.
Mm-hmm. Sim rounds can hurt.
Yes, they certainly can. And but he's bad guy. So and he helps train the other military, personnel as well, they trained him. He's the guy that plays bad guys in another group down there. So bringing back though to our fine opportunity, we're going to have we've been invited down. They will give us that range for at least half a day, if not a whole day,
cool.
if we can come down during the week. And then we can get because my objective with my Creedmoor, my match grade Creedmoor, is I want to do a 6x6 at 1,200 yards. You get your ammo can, you get 3 sandbags, 6x6 at 1,200 yards every time. Every time. So I've invested in the scopes to get that done, and I'm getting ready to make the barrels. We've done the back end to make that smoother. So I'm kind of looking forward to how that's going to go. I'm going to adjustable gas block that out because I'm gonna turn it up, and then I'm going to work on turning it down to the least amount that I can get it to cycle and see what my recoil is.
I love adjustable gas blocks. They're like the greatest inventions ever.
They can be great, and they can be very frustrating for those. If you have one that has a defect, so to speak, is that frustrating because you don't know you have a defect. And then for those who don't put the time and effort and go through the exacting process. In other words, shut the damn thing off, shoot one round. Okay, it shot, but it didn't do anything.
Yeah, you just get little adjustments.
Now you're at square one. Do your 2 turns, fire 1 round. Okay, if it locked back, great, let's turn it in. So let's go a half back in. Shoot 1 round, see where you're at.
Yeah.
But you turn that thing down to where it just cycles, turn it 1/4 turn for, just safety's sake. I always want to cycle. I'll have that little extra, no problem. And rock on with that thing. And it's a lot of fun because you can really set your gun up.
Yeah. It's just a lot of people don't have the patience, like you're saying, to adjust.
Precisely. That's where the rub comes in. The patience, they don't. I make my adjustable gas blocks where you change them on the side, not in the front. Okay? So in 90% of my rails, when you put it on, the hole matches up where you can get to it. When you've got to go in the front and you've got to go through that particular situation, that can be a little troublesome and time consuming. And when you're at an indoor range and they're trying to work people through, it becomes, a lot of extra time. For us, we're fortunate because when we get somewhere, we're the only people there. And so I'll have Jax, I'll have Michael, I'll have a portion, 6-8 of my staff. I'll have my internet people there because they're all shooters too. Everybody that works for me is a shooter. That's where I'm lucky too. I don't have just anybody who's kind of a novice type person. Nah, they're all shooters and so on. So we get out there and we have all day to, one person will be just jacking with this one thing while other people are shooting videos and running some courses, so it works out for me there. That's how we're efficient on that. So works for me. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to shooting those Creedmoors. I do like to shoot a Creedmoor, and I love a Grendel.
Grendels are like, I would say probably my favorite round.
They're my favorite AR-15.
Yeah.
I hunt with a Grendel. I love a Grendel. I was hunting in South Carolina with my friend Cameron Hughes. and his family owns farms up there and friends. He lives in north of Tampa now, Newport Richey area. But we were up there in October. I was very fortunate. I took 4 deer in a day and a half, and with every one of them, with my Grendel, dropped all 4.
Nice.
All 4.
Yeah,
it was. I took a weird shot. My third one, I'm about 175 yards out. I'm in a tree stand. I'm in a cotton field. So these two come out, these 2 does. I have 1 doe tag left, or 2 doe tag, whatever I had. But I had doe tags, obviously. And so 1 doe walks right into the woods. The other one has to make a slight turn. As soon as that doe made that turn, I put one right where the neck and the spine meet above the shoulder.
Ooh.
They didn't believe me that I took that shot and I hit that shot, but I did. I did. For me, shooting is all about anxiety. I know this sounds weird, but when I have take up in a trigger, my pistol ARs, I'll have mil-spec triggers. My rifles, not a 1. Because that take up gives me anxiety and I will pull the shot. I'll tell you up front, I do it. With my trigger, my 3 to 6 pound trigger, there's flat faced, it's hard faced, and when I go like this, it fired.
Mm-hmm.
The 4th deer, it's the first time I ever did this, 85 yards, and Cameron didn't believe me. I took that shot, and they gave me a hard time about it. So on the 4th was 85 yards, and I put it right straight through the head instead of going in the neck. I just went from up to up, and I just went
like a Call of Duty game.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. I wanted to prove my point, okay, and I did. It's
Shot with the deer.
So, but the Grendel being so flat, my MOA at 200 yards, I shoot an 18-inch stainless steel 416 R material fluted barrel, straight flutes. I like that size because it's easy for me to get up and down the tree stand. Not a lot of weight. I'm not going up loaded anyway. I got no use to shoot like that. But I just like to be able to get it up. And when you're holding the gun like this and you're doing the 3-point up with your 2 feet and 1, you got to have some balance. So a little less weight works very well.
Okay, Chuck Norris Film Club says, why don't you sell these mods as custom builds and charge 3 times as much?
Goes against my philosophy on the 3 times as much. I just can't do that. Now, my match grade guns, that cost me. It isn't so much that the barrel cost me significantly more to make other than the labor. You gotta drill it, you gotta rifle it, you gotta check it, you gotta air gauge it. Then you gotta chamber it, you gotta check it, you gotta profile it, you gotta check it. Profile is the exterior, but you're still checking the gun. Then you put the barrel, you send it out, let's say nitriding, you get it back, you put your barrel extension on, you got to check it again. So there's 4 checks in there before we can make, we call it a match grade gun. Because before we put those words on it, it has to meet the criteria, both in the chamber and the rifling. We all think it's all about the rifling. But if we don't have that chamber right, it will matter on your accuracy. It will matter. So those are the processes that we go through. And that's why mass grade costs us more money, because we have to check it. There'll be times we'll take 50 bolts and we'll measure every single bolt, the fins on the bolt face. We're making sure, and we'll measure in the bolt. We'll make sure that depth is consistent because it will matter on the chamber. Mm-hmm. I made a set of 200, and I'm going to get ready to make them again, where I took the bolts, and I matched them to the chamber as they're being made. I serialized the barrel and I serialized the bolt so that they would match, not for ATF purposes, for my purposes, so that if bolt 1, 2, 3, 4, that needs to go in barrel 1, 2, 3, 4. It's been matched to it, to that specific barrel that bolt has. So we know, and those were incredibly efficient. I mean, they were really top notch type. And then we packaged them, of course, together, so that the barrel was here, and then boom, and then the bolt was. You had to buy it as a combo. There's no way I'm going to sell it as not a combo. We made it as a combo. That was one of the things we did. We'll get back into those things this spring, heavy duty. We're also going to make the Rage barrels, the recoil systems from Tactical. I did this licensing a while back. We really didn't have machine time, but we're getting ready to make our own the Rage compensator barrels integrated into a 16-inch barrel for competition purposes. So instead of having it on the 16-inch barrel and then on the end of the gun screwed on, no, we're machining it in, and then the port washers go on, and you can adjust all of that. Probably one of the nicest compensators out there is the Rage from Tactical.
So, got a question. How accurate are stainless steel barrels?
Stainless steel barrels are very accurate. We use only 416R material. There are two materials to use in stainless steel, 416 and 416R. Truthfully, I do not know how they name these things. What I do know is that 416R, the Rockwell C, the hardness, almost twice as much. Every barrel I make is 416R. Every steel barrel I make is 4150. There's no 4140 in my material. All 4150, and the old slang for that is, of course, machine gun metal. If I could make stainless steel barrels out of what they call 410 material, I would. It'd last 200 years. Of course, I can't drill it. I can't rifle it, so I can't do it. But if I could, I would, because it's really the top-notch stuff you could use, but you can't machine it appropriately. So you're SOL. So 416R barrels with nominal cleaning, just average cleaning, you should be able to get about 50,000 rounds out of them. With really good cleaning, you're going to get more. With really good keeping oxygen out of the barrel, in other words, making sure when you finish with it, you run however you clean your gun. I personally use a bore stake, but at the end, I take a cleaning rod, I put it in Teflon. It's liquid Teflon. It's cheap and easy, and I run it through my interior of my barrel. I keep the oxygen away from the interior of my barrel, and that's in every single gun I have. Once you keep the oxygen away, the gun's not going to deteriorate ever. I like the Teflon. You can use silicone. I use silicone on my steel case bullets. People who we shoot 100,000 rounds of steel cased here. So, because my guns have to function on steel case. I don't need to tell somebody in an email or on the telephone, oh, you need to shoot brass case to make my gun work.
So in steel case, where is the wear? Is it at the throat of the barrel?
Technically, the wear is on two things. First, it's going to be on the extractor and the extractor pin, in theory. Now, also in theory, you should change out your extractor and extractor pin between 5 and 10,000 rounds. Okay, but truthfully, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I mean, don't. The wear that you could possibly get was as the bullets going in, and bottleneck bullets, of course. Right where they hit the chamber in that area, you could have some degree of additional wear. Now, when you put 4150 material and 416R material, I've never seen one not be able. I've never seen the wear where you can see it by eye. I've never seen it change the function of the gun. But I've read enough and I understand what people say about it. I personally have not seen it, but I'm sure it occurs. I just don't think it's as often as people think, to be honest with you.
All right, we've been on for an hour. I want to thank you so much for coming on. We got to hope have you back on. I've learned a lot, and I'm sure Rich has too. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a very easy podcast to go through. So I'm going to go around the room. Rich, where can people find you?
So flyingrich.com, youtube.com/flyingrich, and Instagram, I'm flyingrich_official.
And Scott, how about you?
Obviously 22 Mods for All online. You'll see us under our ZDR line on Instagram. Our YouTube channel is also on Instagram. You'll see our T6 products up there under our T6 side of the same social medias. You don't see us much on Facebook. That's just not a place I'm going to go. But Instagram, we will be moving to some of the newer platforms also that are out that have a little less restrictions. Some guy named Flying Rich was helping me with that. Oh, I know that guy. Maybe, John, you know that guy too, that Flying Rich guy. But, of course, he was very helpful in moving there. And Kevin, my internet manager, is moving those processes now. So I do appreciate that very much, Rich.
Okay, we'll be back tomorrow for our last show pre-shot. I'm not sure if Rich is doing a show or not, or if he's going to shot.
Next week?
The hell? Yeah.
So far, I couldn't get an invite to shot.
Oh, really? Damn. Try to apply in the Black Swan Media. See if they grant you a pass. Seriously, try it.
No, I'll talk to you.
I would love to have it back in Orlando.
Yeah,
Used to be.
I think they got like a 10-year contract with Vegas, 10 more years left on the contract or whatever.
Listen, the Sands building is very nice, okay? And there's no doubt about that. But it's cold there, and it's warm here.
Yeah.
I've been there in January for shot. I will not be out there this year. This year, I'm really working towards some other projects and stuff and really pushing. So I'm not going to take the time and go that way because I'm not going to. I have my 4 projects. I got my hands full.
Yep. All right, guys. You can find me at John Crump Live. And John Crump News. Tomorrow we have on Rich.
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that. I didn't look yet.
I always ask you that every freaking day, and every day is the same.
Are we doing the Turkish drinking game? What are we doing?
Might be, yeah.
I gotta.
I'm not seeing anything booked. So Turkish drinking game. There you go.
It's Turkish drinking game.
Everyone come and bring a bottle. Yeah. All right, guys.
Yeah, it must be the Turkish drinking game.
All right, we'll see you guys later. Bye.